ano nga lang, hindi kita yung crown, no? Okay guys, pasensya na. Medyo natagalan kami because we were looking for a space where we can do the live stream.
And we need coffee in Crown, so this is what we're doing this afternoon. We're talking about a lot of things. I'm sure sanay kayo sa tsaan ni Jason ngayong hapon we have coffee.
And we're doing it here at Gateway 2.
Yeah.
Dito kami ngayon sa UCC Cafe
In Araneta.
in Araneta City. Ayan. So, medyo tapos lang ng hininga because
We've been running around in circles, and now we're at the home of the Queens, Araneta Center, to discuss, of course, one of the most special event of the year. This is the season to be jolly for us pageant fans because this crown is up for grabs again. I know we're talking about a different mode. Symbolically speaking, Miss Universe season is a season where everybody is looking. One and biggest and grandest and major pageant of them all is about to begin.
Okay, let me just adjust the ating camera.
Sure, at medyo maliwanag tayo ito. Yan.
Off yung hindi siya center.
So far we have 15 people watching. 15 people watching. To all of you guys, magandang hapon po.
Yes.
Yan, 16. They're up and coming.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to list down our
Yes.
runners for the Miss Universe title. We will break it up in segments.
Yes.
We'll first talk about the underdogs.
Yes, and we'll also discuss what brought us to the decision of why these girls we think are like the best as of the moment, or why they are the girls to watch out for. We'll also be talking about the possibilities of the dreaded El Tucuyo crown be given to one of the favorites. Of course, we don't want that happening. We hate to talk about it, but we need to discuss it because, again, like we say, losing with victory and dignity is what makes an El Tucuyo. And we'll be looking at that girl who is so special that even without a crown, you still want her to be the queen, right? So yeah.
Mangumusta muna tayo. Sa mga nandito na, Jester PL was the first one.
Hello,
here.
Jester. Good afternoon.
Roscoe is also here. Sabi niya,
Roscoe
Sir Jason,
Paeste, hello.
while going for my run. Carl Vincent Enriquez is here. Sabi niya, hello Sir Jason and Kuya Marc, watching from the land of Aya Bisamis
Hello,
and the
Carl.
West Mayor, Pasig City.
Yes.
Mark Gonzalez
He's a good...
here.
Oh,
Yes. He's
Hello.
an avid fan. Okay.
thank you so much.
Sabi niya, good afternoon Sir Jason. My namesake and fellow scripters listening, watching while work from home this Friday. Interesting to hear your choices, especially the dark horses.
Yes.
Tapos, ano ang handa for today's video? So, tulad ng nabanggit namin, it's going to be done in several stages. We will first talk about underdogs, then we'll talk about the front runners, and then we will end up with our picks for the El Tucuyo.
El Tucuyo crown. So before,
possibilities for the El Tucuyo crown.
And so we'll also be, again, like we said, we'll also be talking about what brought us to our decision, what made us push for the choices, and why these girls we think are going to end up in their positions as we see it right now. Of course, we'll also be taking note that this is a pre-arrival pick, right?
Yes.
We're discussing it about what they did in their country, the Hello Universe campaign that's been going around, and
And
their
Michelle did well in that.
Yes, we'll be talking about Michelle too, of course, in the Bayanihan to be #1 campaign that Miss Universe Philippines organization is running for. Oh, see, we love them if they're doing it right.
Yes.
Shady. No, but we do. We love Michelle because Michelle's been putting up an impressive campaign, and we'll be talking about that shortly later on.
So this is me pouring the coffee.
We've been giving coffee.
Yes, thank you for
Are we tired
sa
of
UCC for allowing us to do live stream
here? Oo, thank you so much. Medyo hindi kami nakakasagabal ng mga tao, and we chose this afternoon. Thank you for also tuning in. Sanay na sanay kayo na late afternoon or early morning kami o gabing-gabi when we do this. But now, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon, Friday afternoon, di ba?
Yeah.
So I'm sure bago kayo gumanap kami ng gabi, gumanap muna tayo sa mga reyna pangkalawakan. Wow!
Tagalog na Tagalog.
Di ba?
Okay, so let's start first with the underdogs.
Or rather, siguro ako I would start first with the prevailing atmosphere, no?
Okay, sige.
Because the underdogs will also be defined by what's going on.
Yeah.
First, early this year, I think we have to talk about the highlights. This is going to be the first ever Miss Universe edition that Kun An will be managing under her tutelage. So this is a purely Bangkok run edition, and we're hosting it in one of the country that last hosted it in 1975 with a totally different 75 yeah. Chicky Brosas, which I had an interview a few years ago. I'll have to re-release that. Thank you for reminding me. So yun, so El Salvador is a different space. Historically, Latin American countries, when they host a pageant, is a hostile place for non-Latinas. And there's almost always one girl that's non-Latina standing among the 5 girls ought to be crowned. Of course, in 1975, Anne-Marie Potamo of Finland won the crown. Our very own Chicky Brosas was fourth runner-up. But in the recent years, it's usually a Latin bloodbath. Diba? If you look at the scenarios, 2003, Amelia Vega of Dominican Republic, and the only non-Latinas were South Africa, yeah, Serbia, Montenegro, and Japan, where the historic Miyako Miyazaki moment in the evening gown happened. Yeah, last time Latin American country hosted was Mexico in 2007. Japan won. Rio Mori against a flood of Latinas, of course. Natalia Guimarães of Brazil was Brazilian heartbreak of that year. When was the last time? 2020, I think, is the closest reference we could show. You know, you see, it's a total domination of Latin American queens.
With only
India. Forgot her? Adeline Castellino ending as third runner-up. Very beautiful, very gorgeous Indian queen. So that's one of the things we're also looking at.
I think with Latin America hosting, somebody mentioned na parang 50-50 yung chances na ang manalo na Latina.
Yeah.
Which is for me still a reference doon sa possibility na pwedeng Latina ang manalo.
Yes.
50% chance na a Latina would win.
Indeed.
Historically means that against people from Europe, people from Asia, people from Africa, ibig sabihin, the remaining 50 paghahatian
ng Latinas.
So, ibig sabihin,
syempre the performance will also boil down. But, you know, we have no shortage of trailblazing, slaying Latinas this year, which we'll be talking earlier. And of course, when that happens, you also have no shortage of amazing girls who might end up with the Tukuyo title.
Yeah.
So, yun ang hirap.
I think there is a possibility that the winner of Miss Universe is going to be a Latina, and the winner of the El Tukuyo title is going to be another Latina.
Could be. But you would be hurting a lot of feelings, Jason. If you do that, ang dami nating sasaktan, ang dami nating matatamaan. Oh my God.
This is just an initial na...
Again, kami lang ito, guys. Hindi naman po kami judge. I know you're gonna say that. We spilled a lot of hot tea earlier this year for the edition, but we're happy Arboni got the title also. We get that right. And so
we got Amanda right.
We got Amanda right. Amanda Dudamel.
Our top 2 was spot.
Yes. Another interesting fact, El Salvador is now a country which honors Bitcoin as as one of their major currency. And there are lots of talk about cryptocurrency becoming one of the main ways for you to vote into the Miss Universe system in the coming years.
Yeah.
And now you see with the Voice of Change campaign and the voting system and how much money is being poured into the competition will also play a lot of role into putting your queen to the top 10 or 5, whatever.
Yes. And also, speaking of money, I just posted earlier today that the ticket prices for the Miss Universe pageant finals is a whopping $2,000 US dollars for
up to 5,000 for VIP.
Wait, let's double check.
Diba, I saw
yes.
There were 2 pageant pages who posted it already. They have a screenshot, and it's gonna be
no. It's platinum is $2,000.
$2,000.
The VIP is 1,000, and the plata alta is $500. And I remember back during Tia's time, the price is only for the Las Vegas hosting was around $200, $175 to $250 for one of the cheapest area.
Planet Hollywood, no?
Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood.
Yes. So this is kind of exorbitant. But then again, it's almost 10 years since that
And
pageant,
it's a
so
small venue.
inflation is going
Yes,
to be high.
and it's also a pretty small venue, and they're going to kill much of the. Nakikita natin ngayon
Yeah.
the layout. It's like an oval
oval space.
space, but you cannot occupy everything. And they're going to put an X stage there as well. So that could play a significant impact on the amount of seats that you can avail to watch it live.
So in order for them to recuperate their losses, they have to increase the price.
Yes, and also another thing, you cannot watch a preliminary free on YouTube. You have to go
Yes.
on a different platform,
Yes.
diba? So,
So
money.
you have to pay again like $5. I'm not sure if that's $5 for both the national costume competition and the preliminary, but it might be that
So-
it's $5 each.
In certain pages we trust, diba? So, whatever. I mean, whoever our friends there would be willing to do live stream on Facebook. Because, you know,
We're looking at you, like
We're looking at you.
pages who are really good at finding ways.
Kampung Katay Sashes. We're bringing us, helpful information and live on the scene situation from San Salvador, El Salvador. Yeah.
And also, I think there was an issue earlier with regards to accessibility doon sa ticket
Yes, they still
website.
cannot buy as of the moment. I think, because they're figuring it out how many would be accommodated by
And the website keeps on crashing, so that's probably another issue that they need to check out and be on top of.
Yes, that's the problem with the limited seating.
So for those who are
capacity.
flying to El Salvador to watch the Miss Universe pageant, make sure to get your tickets first because nga kayo, kung nandun lang kayo sa may labas ng gymnasyo national ng
Pero may standing room siya eh. So iba yung configuration niya.
Well, I do hope that they have, other ways to have people be inside the venue.
Yeah, true. Because sayang naman the
Sayang,
opportunity
oo.
because if they cannot be there.
And from what I've heard, the priorities allegedly for the tickets are given to travel agents who booked via the Miss Universe, the tourism thing that
the travel with Universe campaign they
Yes.
had. It's a package. I
And-
think around 300,000 pesos to go to El Salvador for 15
I
days.
think that I think even higher.
Wow, it's whopping.
Yeah, and then there's also rumors that government officials are given tickets and reserved seats for the finals. The candidates are only allowed like 2 free tickets for their family and friends. I'm not yet sure if that is the same thing that applies to their national directors and members of the local national organizations.
Yeah, so it's a very limited edition. So where do we come in? So where the votes are popping, Voice of Change is giving, and we're happy to announce that as of 3 in the afternoon, our very own Michelle D is topping the list of the votes. So for you guys to show our support wherever you may be around the world, even our fans, whether you're from Thailand, you want to support Antonia, Philippines, you want to support Michelle, from Nicaragua, you want to support Shenice, or wherever you may be, because those girls are top 3, diba? Go to MissUniverse.com and go Miss Universe app and vote for the girl you think deserves to be at the top. And I think fan voting is different from Voice of Change, and the fan vote winner will automatically be part of the top 10. So she'll be the 11th girl to place in the final. So that's crucial. As much as we give support to Michelle for Voice of Change, we shall also give that support for the fan vote. So we have to be very mindful.
Please be reminded that the fan vote is a paid vote. So if you've already exhausted your first free vote, 3 votes, 5 votes onwards, you have to pay a certain amount. I think it starts with around 50 pesos.
50 pesos for 3 votes, and then
it goes up.
up.
I think around 500 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So please be mindful of the fees included there.
Totoo. And we're also thankful for a lot of former beauty queens that show support to the girls, and rallying behind all the Filipino pageant fans also who are very much strong up in arms. I saw Lemuel235 here has a comment. Ngayon ko lang na-witness sa ganito ka-lively fan vote natin since Ariel in 2013. Why? Yes, because if you have a girl that's worthy of the crown and fighting for it, and we're gonna talk about Michelle later, we have a special part on her participation because of what she did in Hello Universe. I mean, that brings a lot of energy for you to be out there and stand beside her. We can fly to El Salvador, but you can be there in spirit by putting her on the top. So yes, do our part, whatever we can do to support the girls competing this year. Another thing that we also talk about that could affect the competition,
The geopolitical situation
in Gaza, the Palestine versus Israel, very sensitive topic because we now have 3 girls representing pro-Palestinian causes, supported by Dubai-based PR magnate Mr. Josh again. And the girls from representing Pakistan, Bahrain, and Egypt are going to be in competition. We'll be waiting if they be given voice or they'll be censored to use the platform to show their support towards Palestinian cause and the peace process in Gaza. I do not know how it's going to play with the Israeli representation also in the competition.
I don't think there's a Miss Israel.
Yes, I don't hear of any Miss Israel. So I think walang Miss Israel. And President Bukele is, I think, pro-Palestine this year. However, Miss Universe organization also worked with some Jewish organizations. So, spicy. I don't know how it's going to play because Miss Paula Sugar is at bay. So that's how we're going to look into that. So that's really, really crazy atmosphere right now. And lastly, of course, marketing. Again, I think the organization will choose the right girl that will funnel in funds towards the organization. If you're gonna get the businesses rallying towards you, are you a marketable queen? Because Conan also said that earlier, and we know that Miss Universe organization is very much open about the financial status that it is in right now. So the girl that we expect to win this year's competition is a girl that can hold that energy wherever you may be, from Latin America to Asia Pacific, to bring in the money and bring back the glory of the pageant organization as it is. So yun ang mga tinitingnan natin ngayong hapon. So how are we gonna go about it?
This review is not just looking at the girls, but also looking at other situations, other current events that could essentially affect the results later on.
Yes, because Miss Universe is not your ordinary pageant. You could be the best walker, but you'll be best El Tukuyo at the end of the competition. You can be the most beautiful face, but you will not get that spot. You could give the most formidable answer, but still appear as fake and unrelatable, and they will shut you off of the top 20, 15, whatever semi-final cut that may be. And so sorry, but that's how the game works. You need connection, you need marketability, and you need
We need commercial appeal.
you need power, and power is money.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, so let's start with the conversation
Teka
with
lang.
the underdogs.
Mai-stress ako.
I think I needed to point out that having met these three girls for a series of public events earlier this year allowed me to understand and to look at them from a pageant perspective. And I'm talking about the 3 girls being fielded by Josh Hugen. They are Miss Universe Bahrain. Her name is Sobhrajani.
Yeah.
Miss Universe Pakistan, Erica Rodin, and Miss Universe Egypt, Bora Tantawi.
Yeah.
And I think that these girls are the most strong speakers that I've seen so far in terms of interviews.
Yeah, they have the moral obligation din to defend, the area where they have strong connections. I totally agree.
And I think that among these 3 girls, I am particularly biased towards Miss Universe Pakistan.
Pakistan, baby, yeah.
In some certain angles, if you look at her, she looks like Peru's Yannick Maceta.
Yeah, very pretty, very commercial, very marketable.
Facially wise, she's very strong.
Yes, and if social cause, I think she has the power to voice out because Pakistan is also moving towards the direction of, and it's controversial because Pakistan is not a traditional country that supports beauty pageantry. Much like Afghanistan, they have certain restrictions. They're not as liberal as India that allows women to be out there
And
and
the thing
stuff.
is, she speaks like a Miss India.
Yes, she speaks like a Miss India. And,
She looks
well,
like a Latina, but she speaks like very much like a Miss India. And I think that's the reason why we need to be putting a special spotlight on her. Because she really is going to be.
to me, she's
a
going to
strong,
be part of the semis. But how she's going to perform beyond top, they said top 20 first, 11, 5, and 3 is the cut. How she performs beyond top 20, that's how it's going to be weighed into. But I think she, among the 3 Yugen girls, I think Pakistan has the strongest chance of getting it through. If Indonesia can break through in 2019, Pakistan can also make it.
And also,
far.
I also want to include Bahrain because she's the only Gulf girl. She's the only girl from the
Yes.
Middle East in Miss Universe this year.
And last year they made such an impact. I mean, Miss
Yeah.
Bahrain did not win last year, but she made certain fashion choices that became a communication piece for a lot of conversation about pageantry, wearing hijab as part of your, costume. It's very controversial, but it's their culture and they put it front and center, especially at the trying situation right now.
Yeah.
Diplomatically speaking, we just heard the news that the King of Bahrain also severe ties with the Israeli, diplomatic committee in Manama, and that's also another thing that she could, put out there. So it's highly political. We cannot avoid it right now. It's heavy, mabigat pag-usapan, pero it's possible to affect certain chances. And now natin masusukat if Miss Universe really is it like a beauty pageant per se, or it's a powerful platform as it claims to be. So this is the way to measure it now.
And what I am impressed about Lu Jane, I think it's Lu Jane, is that she is a very powerful speaker.
She is.
When she talks, you kind of listen to her, and she has this very Catriona-esque way of talking that when she talks, you pay attention to the verbiage, you pay attention to the words that she chooses when she talks, because she really has a very powerful voice. She is an art teacher. She knows what she's talking about when it comes to Middle Eastern conflicts. She's the only one from the region representing that region. And I think that when it comes to the way that she talks, she can be political, but she manages to convey it in such a way that it does not offend, and that is a very very strong asset to have, especially when you are talking about issues that can be polarizing, issues that can divide instead of bring people together. In the way that she discusses her thoughts about politically laden situations is very in the middle, but you know that she's trying to prove a point.
It's totoo. It's very true. So that's how important it is to mount a campaign that's very calm and collected, but you're also certain and can defend through and through. And another, speaking of that kind of campaign, we're staying in South Asia. Nepal is one of the girls that call a lot of attention. Deepika Garrett is actually, I think she's now in New York.
I think she's on the way.
On her way to El Salvador, but a lot of her material from New York shows how she's confident with her body, and we're talking about diversity and representation. She's unbothered at whatever people are saying, but she has the face to deliver. She speaks damn well. She's giving that Miss India vibe that we've all been, gagging about, and she may not be the most polished walker or style in a certain way that we're used to, but she has the power to deliver the chops. And so I think she's also one of the girls that we have to look out for among the semi-finalists. And I think she might really be there. I can see her standing.
And even if she does not make it into the semis, the mere fact that she is representing, body positivity, she's representing an issue that affects everyone in the world, wherever you are in the world, I think it's very impactful because she's not there to win, much like, let's say, Angela Ponce of Spain.
She just has to be there.
She just has
to be seen.
She just needs to be the image of representation.
You just have to see her, listen to her, and just hear. But you know what? that woman is impossible not to be noticed. I think she's gonna get that spot really. So I'm have higher hopes for Nepal. I hope she really gets in because she deserves it. The girl is working hard for it.
Speaking of Nepal, I would throw in India's Shweta Sharma.
Yes, because girl, the South Asian, because another South Asian girl is on the loop, and we're gonna get to that. But I think she's the strongest of them all, and she's not even from Hindustan area because I mean, my other half, India, is actually represented well this year. We're happy of the way she's putting herself out there, strong, confident. She is aware of her causes about her homeland. There's also a lot of noise going around changing India's name to Bharat, and I don't think that's going to be the centerpiece of her campaign, but more so of what she represents as a woman. She's very outspoken about equality, women's rights also.
And what I like about Shweta is that she comes from a very humbling background.
Yes.
She's not afraid to talk about her family situation.
Because that's the reality on ground, and that's what you need.
Yes. And at the age of 16, she became financially independent.
Wow.
She became the breadwinner, one of the breadwinners of the family, because she needed to help her mom with the finances. And from then on to now, where she's now one of the choreographers who was able to choreograph dances for a lot of big Bollywood names.
True.
I mean,
and I think she has a good career waiting for her after Miss Universe. Honestly, I don't see her winning, but I see her placing.
Yes.
I think the Indian streak will continue. But
Me too.
after the Harna Zandu moment, I think India is on a bit of a plateau. Not because for the lack of effort, but I think it's for the circumstances surrounding the competition. Like we said, is she the right girl that Miss Universe is looking into? Is she the woman that could deliver everything that they need? As of now, I don't think so. But she represents such a huge population of women that deserves to be heard, seen, and valued. And that's where we are looking into. So yes, we have to put Miss India there. And again, another Hindustani girl from South Africa, Rayoni Natalie Govender, I think is the strongest of the Desi women out there competing this year. Her national costume, we have to talk about it. We just released it.
She's very high on my list.
Girl, because this woman with her sari inspired with the traditional South African elements is whopping. This girl can talk the fucking talk. I'm sorry for the language, but that's how strong she is. And I think she's sitting
comfortably well. She will make semis.
She will make semis.
I will be much more surprised if she doesn't, because I think her being a lawyer, it will serve her during the closed-door interviews.
Yes. So, hindi mo na rin ako magkasalita about the Asia Pacific because there's only 2 women I can see battling it out aside from India, which we mentioned earlier, for the top long, and we're gonna give that spot on them later on as we move to our top 5. But let's look at Europe, another sleepy continent in the competition. But there's few girls that are really, really standing out, such as Spain.
Okay.
Atenea Perez. You have a lot to say.
I have Atenea high on my list.
Because she's really, really one of the girls to look out for. And we're in a Latin-friendly country. I think she's one of the girls that could shock the system with, oh my God, andito siya. What is she? You didn't see her, you didn't notice her. But you know what? Denny Mendes' energy is alive in this woman. And the last time we see this kind of energy in 1997, top 6, baby. So we have to look into that too. I think she's also doing a lot of media rounds in Latin American media system, and a lot of them
She was invited by Telemundo.
Yeah, in Telemundo, and there's a lot of them gaining positive response towards these audiences. And as early as now, if a girl can invest, because a girl with like Atenea is targeting representation on so many fronts because she's part African from Equatorial Guinea, the only Spanish-speaking country in Africa. So you have, in terms of color and race, if you have that argument around her, she had the representation. She made it successfully in Europe. She's representing Spain, right? A super diverse country and a powerful one at that. And you are gaining representation left and right of such power. If she was able to harness that and put up a good presentation, which I think she will. She's training really well sa catwalk, gown. Feeling ko she's gonna have a really good wardrobe and pasabog.
And Spain is on a winning streak. They won Supranational, they won Mr. International earlier this year.
Yeah.
So I am guessing that the energy surrounding Spain is high.
It's high.
Plus, aside from what Mark said, Athenia is one of those girls that I think will be a girl who will definitely make strides in terms of representation because she is a black African representing Spain, a European country. In a Latina-dominated na venue.
Yeah.
Which she also speaks Spanish, which is essentially the mother of all Spanish countries.
So I think she can actually win this.
She can.
She can win
in terms of coverage, in terms of international markets, she has a lot of grounds
Silent
that
killer.
cover.
She might. If she plays her cards right, she's gonna be up
actually
there.
in my top 7.
Yes. And another
So-
European, we're talking about France. Although there's a lot, Diane has a lot of mixed emotions, but I think she is
Comfortably
spinning.
safe. Is going to make semis.
But safe is not sure. So
Exactly.
that's something that we need to be mindful and be careful of. So those are the two standouts from Europe. I don't know if you're feeling something about Netherlands.
More than Netherlands, I am thinking Portugal. Her name is Marina.
Yes.
Marina Machete, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's her name. Or Mariana Machete. I think it's Marina Machete. She is a trans-
Marina Machete.
She's a trans woman who's representing Portugal in the competition this year.
Yes.
Babaihan ang face
Yeah.
ni Marina.
And I think she's more than just her face. It's
Yeah.
more than her body. She has a lot to convey because strong movement and trans representation lately is missing. I think the community is under attack of all fronts of consideration, especially in the Western world. And so I think a woman like her again on the stage can send a strong impact. We haven't seen such strong impact since Angela Ponce in 2018. So I think this could be a moment of spotlight for her to take on and put forth her. So is that all from Europe? Meron pa namang ibang European girls, but they don't usually.
They're not as out there when it comes to their campaign.
At saka napaso tayo last year, we supported Italy so much and she clapped with Celeste, and that's so hard to feel, right? But we kind of expected that a bit. So looking back, let's tumuwid na tayo ng karagatan. Before we go to the top 5, the total Americas, North and South America, of course, the hometown, the battleground of the bloodbath for this year's crown.
I think let's start with Colombia.
Colombia, Camila Avella, baby. So
I am not feeling the energy around her.
she's dwindling.
Yeah.
She's fading. I think
She has all the physical goods.
but I think so much is
the
happening.
energy around her does not seem to be
No,
like propelling her forward.
But so much is happening on a bigger
scale.
because Colombia is suffering heartbreak after heartbreak after heart. The runner-up syndrome in Colombia is
This year, it's hurt.
no, but for forever, Colombia has the largest number of first runner-ups in Miss Universe.
Yeah.
And so, I think the pain starts to grow and sting a bit bigger than ever.
Especially in Miss International this year.
Especially Miss International this year, because we thought really that Colombia's gonna take it. I think Nicole was first runner-up, and Colombia's gonna win.
Yeah.
We have that vibe, but yeah, still happy about the placements. The Daughters of Spain
Yes.
sweeps the entire top 5 at Miss International, but You know, it's,
and that's
diba?
why the Philippines is the Latino slayer.
He has the España, but
Yeah.
that's the way. Could it be possible this year that he has the España? No, but I think there's one girl kasi that's stinging through talaga. Eh.
Yeah.
I think Antonia is really trying to ram it out, but it's also dangerous. I'm gonna talk about it
I
later.
think it's safe to say that the Latinas came to stay this year. But because of the sheer numbers of strong candidates from Latin America, sila mismo nagpapatayan. So I think there is a reason why suddenly we're not feeling high energies on some of the Latinas. It's because
And
some other
it's
Latinas
Colombia.
are taking the energy away from the other.
Yes, and it's sad that Colombia is, I think, at the verge. Camila, you can still wake this up, honey. Mira, mira, mija. I mean, this is something that you could fight back. So, wake up,
Yeah.
diba? Rapido, muy
Yeah.
pronto. So, and next, after her, I think we're looking at other bubbling queens. Another Gran Colombia sister country. If Colombia is not performing, the neighbor Peru, honey, is giving. They've been slaying competitions left and right. They've been placing, winning. And I think this year's Miss Peru is also... Escrivens is pretty
Quiet, strong.
but comfortable. I think she's the one I'm seeing comfortable in her position because after a stellar performance last year, I think they have another strong girl in the competition.
Yeah.
But all that I see in Peru is non-advocacy, but it's more like of traditional Miss Universe vibe, which we cannot miss year-on-year basis. But I think that's her most powerful vantage point as of the moment. Yes. So, yeah, looking at Peru, we're looking at you. Mexico is also
Let's reserve Mexico for later. Let's
pretty
reserve
controversial.
Mexico.
Yes. So,
I think there's some tea that I can't spill with regards to that.
yes, I can't also touch on Venezuela because I have some controversial things to spill about Venezolana.
Then let's talk about Brazil because I think Brazil is going
To be in.
good, strong
Yes.
contender this year.
You know what? This girl has been mounting a successful social media campaign
Exactly. And
of various degrees.
yes, and the moment that you learn that she does not only speak two other language aside from Portuguese, but she also does Brazilian Sign Language, I think that is something that we need to be
Yeah, Maria
taking care of.
Bresciane. I think you're gonna be there.
I think this girl,
Bom
people
dia.
are not giving her too much
The chops.
attention, but when it comes to her ability to speak,
Don't sleep. Don't sleep on Brazil.
Don't sleep on this girl.
Don't sleep on Brazil.
And also, I think there is this notion that just because they are Spanish, they're not strong speakers. That should be something that Filipino fans should start
Reconsidering.
stopping to do, because just because you are not a native English speaker does not mean that you are a weak communicator. And I think that is a reflection of the internalized, insecurities that we have. That anyone who doesn't speak straight English is automatically not a strong speaker or not
there was
intelligent.
a conversation in a Latin page that what if we reverse the situation? One of the commentators there said, what if we reverse the situation? Let's force all of these girls coming to El Salvador to answer in Spanish so that they could sit in our position. Well, yeah,
Yes.
point taken.
And,
because
and it's not only that. I think that there is this internalized, insecurity within us that if a girl who speaks, let's say, for example, Eliza Malina, who spoke, perfect Bisaya during the Miss Universe Philippines
sayang
competition,
talaga, Eliza.
people immediately judge her as someone who cannot speak.
Di ba?
People, you have to understand, people change, they improve. People have the innate ability to improve their communication skills, their pasarela skills. So it does not mean that just because on their initial na competition that you've seen in 2015, magaslaw, hindi marunong magsalita on stage, that doesn't mean that
doesn't equate.
After 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they haven't improved yet.
Yes. And life changes. There's nothing constant in this world but change. So you have to give people chances, and this is what the pageant organization is pushing for. Trailblazing transformational leadership, because allow women to change and influence you in certain ways
if
could possibly.
English is a barometer of intelligence, then matakot kayo because a lot of the girls who's competing now at Miss Universe can speak good English.
Yes, even the Latinas.
Even the Latinas. And I will be touching up on that because there are at least 2 or 3 Latinas who are very comfortable with the language.
Yes, so yon. Another girl from South America we have to look out for, Chile. It's like the Amanda Dudamel of this season. Fresh, vibrant.
Young energy vibes.
You know, you just love the aura. Chile hasn't placed in quite a while. I think it's high time they get in this time. I think you have a serious bet at this year's pageant. Chile is one of the girls we have to look out for. Now, I have to move a little bit higher. Let's go to the epicenter of it all. Central America. Don't want to talk about Mexico, so let's go south. Nicaragua, El Salvador, the neighbors, honey. I think they're bringing their A game. Shenis Palacios. I'm gonna talk about her later because she's also sitting very high on my list. Because that girl transformed. If we were talking about transformation, from how she was at Miss World, going to Universe girl, this girl, 300 times better than she was. And so, a woman like that is hard to miss. And of course, El Salvador would drew flack because she wasn't the favorite at her national pageant. The first runner-up was the favorite of everybody. There's a lot of commotion when she won. After being transformed, I believe with Magali Febles, is now giving certain energy. It's ready for the winning. And speaking of Magali, Caribbean women, honey, Dominicano y plátano mucho. The girl there in that area, Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic are
strong.
You're really strong. They're gonna punch the hole for you, and that's what we're looking into right now.
Okay,
before
we go to the meat and bones.
Yes. You wanna read comments?
Yeah, let's read comments.
I think Erica Robin just messaged you too. Yes.
Oh my God. Let me check. Okay, ikaw muna sa mga comments. Let me just check that.
Sige, mag-iisa-isa ako dito bago malobat ng tuluyan yung laptop ko. Sige, isa-isahin natin to.
She mentioned me in the story.
Yes.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Erica Miss Castanya.
Yeah.
So a lot of greetings from other side of the world. So we have Brownie Pinoy, along from Hawaii. Hello, Brownie.
Hello.
Eugene R. from San Jose, California. Hello, the universe. Good. And then, Johnny B said, he recommends that we try out Coffee Whoops at Cubao Expo. Brewman Coffee Shop is closed.
Yeah.
You know what? We have another one coming after the preliminaries. That's where we go all out heavy and ballistic. So we will consider the place that you recommended. Roscoe Paese said in 2011 in Brazil, totoo nga naman, Angola and China and Philippines sit atop of the Latinas. But that was a Lusophonic area. So very Portuguese-centric naman yung nakikita natin doon. And we expected a lot from Angola to win, even mid-competition. Where's Leila Lopez shine? Ukraine pala. 2003 daw Sentinel. Well, you mentioned South Africa among the girls.
Jon Snow said, hi Jason and Mark.
Yes.
Fever is very much on. Mukhang nakiliti talaga ng pamoa ni Michelle sa Hello the Universe. Carry lang kahit gamit na naman tayo, which is, if you look, since you open your Miss Universe app, siya yung unang-unang makikita yung candidate with
But you know,
Hello Universe na.
This is not just about transactions or anything. A woman deserves it. She mounted a campaign, for goodness sake. Directed her own creative content.
This is why we keep on pushing that let the girl lead their campaigns. Huwag makialam ng national director na siyang magdikta.
Minsan kasi, I have to admit take on the national director because sometimes there are girls who win at nagkataon lang na uncertain batches of competition, wala talagang ganun kagaling. Let's be honest, there are certain years in Philippine pageantry that the girl who won doesn't even know what to do with her life, right? And so the national director gives that direction. We see that from Binibini Pilipinas era up to the Miss Universe Philippines era. I'm not gonna name names, but you know, kita nyo naman pag hindi alam ng candidate kung anong gagawin sa kampanya niya, dun pumapasok yung national directors.
Doon dapat pumasok.
Yes. And sometimes it becomes disastrous because the vision that you're trying to put into is a vision of somebody else, but not your own. And girls who are like this are the ones prone to losing the competition. They're the ones who really left out, diba? So ito yung mga nag-breakdown, mahina ang mental fortitude because they're fighting a fight that's not their own.
I agree.
And Michelle D's fight is exceptional. I'm not saying she is like Catriona, but at least she knows what to do. I mean, hindi man ako nagugulat because her backings, I've said it in some comments back in the other pages na she's backed by the old Binibini Pilipinas legends, diba? Miss Desiree Verdadero from the campus there supporting her. Her mom is Melanie Marquez, the third Miss International from the Philippines. And I'm not surprised about that. She's also an actress. She has the machinery. And GMA Artist Center, Sparkle has been training them to have that personality and it pays off. And Michelle has a mind of her own. I remember her question and answer in Miss World Philippines 2019. She said that I am my own person at pinanindiganan niya. And I'm happy that she's doing that. And she formed her team. She's a Baumgartner muse this year. So we'll be expecting a lot of Marc's creation, I think, for the preliminaries and final show. Feeling ko nga black eh. Sorry.
Ako feeling ko red.
Pwede din. Because
Sabi ni Otan, C-Talk's website crashed a while ago. Sayang vote ko, hindi na-count. But my sister's votes was counted kasi may confirmation email na nasend sa kanya.
You said, no? You have to verify the votes after because sabi nila, pag hindi mo verify sa email, it's not counted. So all of you who's voting and voted and will vote, you have to verify, check your email that you used to sign up for the app and make sure you verify your vote. Sayang naman.
Sabi mo, Jester PS says, listening mode here, Sir Jester Marc,
Sa office pa.
Yan.
Level 235. And they also changing their name. We touched about this earlier.
Eugene R says,
binati na
listening
natin.
mode in the office, 2 a.m. in California.
California. He's from San Jose. Hello. Mikey Gandara, it's a beauty pageant. I can understand why they have to push the trans, married, and oversized. But you know, if you say that this is a platform for women, even if we do not agree, we may, okay, this is very controversial. We may not agree that women should only be biological. Sometimes we reserve that view also. Or you cannot be trans, or you cannot be to be considered woman, whatever it is that defines you. But if you say that this is a platform for women and you redefine women, so I think it's only rightful that you open these doors to every single kind of women there is, understand their voice, and allow them to be part of, kahit hindi mo sila gusto, let them in, listen to them, and let them be part of the conversation so that you understand where they're going through. And then we move on to evolve as society. I think that's how pageantry should be. And so, regardless of what our points of views, whether meron pang issue dito about why are we daw pushing bodies that is unhealthy, ganyan. But you know what? A woman's body behaves differently for everyone. Even a man's body is different. Magbuhat ka man magbuhat. Kung talagang tabain ka or your hormones doesn't support you having a fast metabolism, we can take it against the women or people to have that.
It's okay that we have different opinions with regards to this, but ultimately we have to talk about it.
And not every woman in the world is, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
And that's a message that you're showing. So I think if we're going to represent it, kasi kung ganun lang ng ganon and the pageant does not evolve, the only audience that will be catching are the people who wants that. And who are these? People at the fashion industry, minsan mga predators pa, and you encourage that behavior from men who wants to take advantage of women, and like, you know, unlike if you see different representation, it sends a message that, oh, women, I could be like that. I can see myself in that. And whatever she says that you have to do to improve your life, be a better person, especially that Kun An said that they want to utilize the 25 million followers in Miss Universe organization to give life tips, choices, and whatever you do outside it, inside the competition, to be a better woman. And this is what you're talking about. So we may not agree all the time.
And also, it's okay to have different opinions on this dahil it opens the conversation. And, you know, your perspective could help me understand different perspectives with regards to the topic. So I think it's okay to have different opinions.
Yes, because Ashton raised it, and for plus size beauty queen daw, where do we draw the line between staying healthy and embracing obesity? If they're doing something about their weight and it's really not going down because of, say, certain, you know, something, women have thyroid issues, hormonal changes, you can compete with Mother Nature, honey. It's just, you can't. But you can stop people from living their lives, and that's something you need to put in mind. Not a hater of trans, but I think trans women should compete with real women sometimes we believe too, especially the non-conformist ones or the traditionalist one. But again, if you define social realities of pageantry about women, even if you don't want them to be there, you have to allow them in, to listen to them, and at least just engage with them to understand where they're coming from. Minsan maganda rin pakinggan natin sila para naman we get the point of why do they want to be at the platform shared with biological women and why it is what it is. It's important.
And also, I want to give a shout out kay Art Laurent na tawag nito na
Art
nandito
Laurent, hello.
Yes.
Ano to talaga, avid mo to.
He's a friend. He is currently in Spain. Salamat dun sa chikahan natin kagabi.
Hola.
We had like an hour-long conversation about issues that is pertaining to the Miss Universe pageant and some local organizations as well.
True.
So thank you for
Supporting.
supporting us and watching us. In
Oo,
our live
ever
stream.
since 2020 when we started tandeming together for Miss Universe, you've always been there. Thank you, Art Laurent.
And before we continue with the comments, may I please ask and remind you guys to please give a thumbs up in our live stream. Follow if you haven't followed yet, and share it to your friends so that more people will be able to see this live stream.
We have 65 people on the stream. Thank you so much for watching us this afternoon.
Sabi ni Levi,
sige.
the universe from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Iki XOXO, bakit ex-Miss Universe ang magja-judge? Yung pa talagang hindi nanalo. Parang it doesn't sit well with me. Anong credential nila to judge? Well,
Is it final judge o sa CTOC lang?
I think it's the voice of change that they're talking. Meron din akong reservations doon kasi
Okay.
I think the choices was made on what they did after the crown.
Yeah.
Pero naman, the girls selected is, alam mo yun, they were specifically placed there for a specific reason. Wag na tayong maglokohan. You can tell as early as now, certain girls that they really want to elevate. And I'm not accusing Miss Universe of playing favoritism, but it happens, honey.
Yeah.
At nakinabang din naman tayo doon,
Nakinabang
Pilipinas.
sila.
Ang laki ng pinakinabang natin doon. Huwag tayong maglokohan.
Oo.
It's not for everyone. It's the
we
white
cannot-
elephant in the room, but you know, we cannot call the kettle black.
Yeah. We cannot say that, they're playing favorites because they are. Okay?
Yeah.
We cannot call them out because at one point, we were the apple of that. And we've benefited largely from that. That is the reason why we have multiple runner-up winners. We have multiple, queens who won Miss Universe in the last 10 years?
10 years.
12 years, 13 years. So we really need to, kinakailangan nating rendahan. I don't know how to...
Ang sarili natin.
How to say that in English. We need to police ourselves with that kind of thinking because it came to the point where just because we're no longer the favored ones doesn't mean that we have the authority to call out others because we were at some point recipient of that favor.
The favor, yeah.
So, ingat tayo doon. We have to be careful with that dahil sabihin
Yes.
man natin na tawag ito, na ganun na nga ang sitwasyon, pero nakinabang tayo eh. Yun
Totoo.
yung point doon.
Nakinabang tayo doon. So
nakinabang tayo ng sobra. So, wag naman natin.
Wag natin.
Let's not, tagalugin ko na lang. Wag natin gawin
Oy,
na mainggit tayo doon sa iba dahil
one of our prolific fighters, one of the shadow pages is listening right now.
Okay.
Pageant Baby Boy is here. Tapos may mga nang-aaway sa mga kaaway nating kapitbahay. Maghina-hinay kayo, mahina.
Oo.
Mahina! I'm sorry, pero I'm gonna say that also later. Total, gano'n naman kami. Manalbahin na daw kami, di manalbahin na tayo ng tuluyan. Charot, hindi naman. Pero yun, yeah, so that's the thing. So, other comments pa ba?
Carl Vincent Enriquez says, Sir Jess, ano ang opinion niyo sa issue ni Marc MJ at ni ano? Okay, we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to give them
Egg-tart.
space. I'm not going to give them the space.
That's all I can say, egg tart.
we move on.
We move on.
We move on.
Bumili kayo ng Lord's Toe, kumain kayo ng egg tart, egg pie, support Philippine-made baked goods. Yan ang masasabi ko.
Okay.
Opo.
Sabi ni Ping, magandang hapon, Sir Jason. Team replay mamaya. Okay. So, let's talk about the front runners.
Hindi, sinong losers mo pala? Yung
Wag
talagang
muna.
feeling mo hindi papasok, mamaya na.
Mamaya
Hindi
na.
nga El Tocuyo eh, charot.
Mamaya na yung alto po yun natin.
Sige.
Because we need to explain why.
We need
Why?
5, no?
We need 5.
5? Oh my God! Tumba
Sorry.
ang corona.
Oh my God.
Pati siya nanginig.
Nanginig.
Di ba?
Oo,
Ayan
kasi
na nga. Sinabi niya na.
Sinabi
Ayaw
na.
niya eh. Sino daw susuot ng sa kanya? So, ano ba?
So, let's...
Ako ba? Ikaw na muna. Kakabad
Ako na
ako.
muna.
Sige,
Okay.
go.
5 or 7? Like, earlier this year.
7. Ako 7. Diyan tayo napatay
7.
ng mga tao. 7.
Uunahin ko na uunahin ko na si Michelle. Because I think that with the campaign Michelle is mounting, it's going to be something that we can be proud of dahil hindi siya diktado ng organization. That's the main point that I have been thrusting all along, that you don't allow the organization to take leadership for your campaign, because ultimately you are marketing yourself instead of the organization. So it has to be organic, authentic to you. And that is the reason why I am putting Michelle in the top 7 na front runners this year. I think she's going to go with either a solid black or red gown. Calling dibs on that. Sinasabi ko na.
Or both?
Or both.
Or both?
But with the way that she competed in MUPH, I think it's going to be a very underrated na gown. But pag-uusapan siya na gown. So I am waiting for that to happen with preliminaries.
I think Marc will go crazy. Well, you put her at number 7. I'm putting her at around number 4. Sige. Why? Because not yet. Almost there but not. I mean, I don't see her winning. Okay, I have to be honest. Earlier this year when she got crowned, akala ko siyang tukuyo. Because when we're talking about our grounds, about who's going to win this competition, hinahanap ko kung siya ba yung kailangan ni Kun-an? Meron bang pera ang Pilipinas na may papasok sa Miss Universe if she wins? Or she will just be another Arboni Gabriel who happens to be very good speaker, very good packaging, but the machinery and marketing support is not there. But you know, as she goes along and she started taking charge of her campaign, she has a greater purpose. Ang change of heart ko nangyari when she attended this event with all the other powerful women together with Mighty Magulang, where she spoke about, autism as her main platform. It was so core to her heart. Like, she knows exactly what she's talking about, and she's, spitting it all out as if she knows it like the back of her hand. And that's the kind of women we need in this competition. I think that is also the point where, ako with all honesty, I think that's also the time na tinitigan na rin siya ng organization. I have a feeling that MUO is starting to look at her differently right now than before. Nakapag-move on na sila with how we handle the competition with Celeste. I think they also saw how Filipinos warmed up and changed our attitudes and values towards the competition with the kind of girl she is. And that's what you need. A woman that doesn't need to tell you to be a good person, but makes you a good person because you just wanted to support her. And that kind of energy rubs off on everyone. So ako, I'm gonna put her high up on top 5, pero hindi ko pa kasi alam how she's going to perform in the closed door interviews and preliminaries because that's gonna play a part. So I'm gonna put her there. Pero may downside din. I don't wanna be the devil's advocate. Baka minsan naman hanggang top 10 lang at pigilan because we do not know what's going to happen within the next 2 weeks. So sana hindi mangyari yun. So the worst performance would be top 10 for Michelle, top 11. The best would be up in the echelons of the top 5.
I remember you saying that Michelle is perfect for Miss Universe on paper.
Before kasi the ideal, in principle, during MUPH, the perfect Miss Universe Philippines is Pauline. In principle, on paper, it's Michelle. So now, nakita na natin na okay, hindi na lang ako paper. She made herself the principal. And that's the kind of, ako naman, we're not here to bash women, but we give credit where it is due. And if you see a woman doing Oo, wag
pinagtrabahuan
nating ipagdamot yung papuri kung talagang ginagalingan. Kasi talaga naman trinatrabaho. At alam kong sa sarili ko, parang she's not doing it for herself or trying to prove a point na daughter ako ng dating beauty queen. Parang hindi ganun. It's more like she has something up her sleeve while she's doing it. And I think as she comes more up close and personal in the following weeks, you get to learn about why Michelle is. So, number 7 kay Jesso, number 4 sa akin, that's Michelle Marquez of the Philippines.
What's your number 7?
Number 7, I'm gonna give it to Mariana Downing of Dominican Republic. Yes.
Okay.
You know what? You need a powerful Latina in the circle. And I think controversial as she is, alam mo, unwanted. Di ba, a lot of people in Dominican Republic hated her and doesn't like her.
Because she does not speak fluent in Spanish.
And that's where your conversation starter becomes. Is national identity measured by your ability to speak the national language or by the blood that runs through your vein? How Dominicana will Mariana be? And
this is something that I've mentioned before, that in order for you to represent a country, you need to be able to understand not just the language, but the culture in itself. It's not enough that you are only there to represent the country just because you're capable. You need to represent the country because you understand who the people are, what is the culture that you're representing. And if Mariana is hilaw on that front, parang ang hirap niyang i-push sa local na crowd.
Yeah, and so she has a lot to prove coming to the competition. And I think face card check, body is check.
She's 5'9" in height.
Very modelesque, and she's your. You can ignore her, but I think she will also make sure that when you speak with her, she's gonna leave something for you to think about her. And so she deserves to be at the higher edge of the top 10. So she sits comfortably at number 7 for me.
Number 6 for me, somebody out, just a little smudge from the top 5, is Carla Gilfo of Puerto Rico. Because I think that you cannot have 2 supranational queens at the top 5. That is my beef with her. But on performance, on physicality, I think she should be top 5 material.
Carla Gilfo
and also I have to touch on this. In terms of the work that she's put in terms of her resume, she is a master's degree holder or taking her master's on psychology. Her work on sandali lang, hanapin natin yung mental health. Is very much, is very much strong dahil inumpisahan niya ito, hindi pa siya Miss Universe Puerto Rico. Kumbaga, she's already competing at other international competitions, from Miss Teen Mundial, something, to up until to now, meron na siyang naipuntan na advocacy. And she's kept this advocacy running from the very beginning of her pageant journey, her pageant career, up until now. And if we're talking about communication, she's one of the strong Latina communicators because she can speak in Spanish and English. I also think that should she play her cards right, she could be Puerto Rico's fifth or sixth Miss Universe.
And that's the reason why everything you said, she's my number 1 actually. Carla Gilfo is my Miss Universe 2023 because of all the things you said, plus her experience and her ability to traverse certain lines and boundaries. She's your unifying factor. She's not purely Latina. I can feel some American education in her veins. And the Puerto Rican girls usually do well when they are in Asia Pacific, in Africa, in certain areas of the world. And a woman like that can, rally behind her certain organizations and marketing abilities to back her up. And I think from Puerto Rico, she has also the power to penetrate the North American market better because you have a more stronger cultural backup, if I can say. We can also touch on the greater Latin American audience who wants representation because they haven't had a strong Latina representation since Andrea Meza. So they want that. And so I think everything that she has learned, even as a former Miss Supranational runner-up, could bring her up to the top. And that will hurt a lot of people from another supranational power lady, which I'm gonna talk about later, which surprisingly bumaba siya sa listahan ko because I thought she's going to win it. But now, yeah, for me, I'm calling it early at this point. Carla Gil for Puerto Rico will be Miss Universe, and she's my number 1, number 6 for you.
Yeah. Okay, you're number 6.
Number 6 for me,
Ang hirap pumili, no?
ang hirap pumili.
And especially if nakapili ka na, magbabago yan because of the preliminaries.
Yeah, magbabago talaga sa
And
preliminaries.
Even if you've already selected like your 7, biglang, how do you rank this 7?
Pero usually when we draw our top 5 after the preliminaries, ito na yun eh.
parang like Cardinals in 2021.
Yun na yun eh. Yun na yun.
And last year, yung 1-2 finish natin.
Because before, ang pre-arrival namin like in 2021, actually Scott Kemes is number 1. And then actually is like, sinabi rin namin na, bye, girl. Yes.
Yeah, because of the performance, no?
Yun the performance. So on 6th place, I'm gonna give it to Atenea because you need a European girl
my God.
vivaciousness there. So Spain is gonna be there because she's on the daughter's land, El Salvador. And I think she will easily connect with the community around her that could help her bolster the campaign for her. I think she's gonna be right out there. Diba? Parang she's gonna fight it through.
Right now, Atenea is my number 1.
Oh. Switch eh. Still
So
one.
you're number 6. My number 6 is your number 1.
Yes.
Your number 6 is my number 1.
So, 6 and 1.
6 and 1, okay.
Hindi kami nag-uusap.
Hindi kami
Sinadya namin hindi mag-usap eh.
Yeah.
Pero feeling ko mamaya may pagkakasunduan tayo.
Mamaya. But okay, so on my end, the reason why I am putting Atenea Perez of Spain as number 1, it's because 1, she processes different markets. She can serve the European market because she's representing Spain, and she has African roots. Aside from that, she also has Latina representation because she's one of the only, she's the only European, I believe, that was invited by Telemundo for their Smile Train Latin American event. And she's the only European that is invited to have guestings in Telemundo. And when she talks about racial equity during her interview with
She has every right to do that.
I am flabbergasted with her ability to speak. And sa totoo lang, every time I replay on my head yung interview niya, kinikilabutan ako doon sa verbiage niya, the way that she talks, she speaks passionately about the cause because she lived through it. And I am sensing a Denny Mendez na energy with her again as a Black European representing a very progressive na country at Miss Universe. And the reason why I like her to win is because ang tagal na since we had a European winner
From Iris.
And I also feel that if she wins, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng Zozy na reaction na parang niluto para sa kanya ito. Because I think technical-wise, I've seen her pasarela. She's also 5'10" in height. Great body proportions. Her face is commercial. Wag mo lang talaga na masyadong maraming makeup. And at the same time, she crosses different markets. And if you are looking for a Miss Universe that's commercial, you need someone who can cross different markets.
True. Totoo yun.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Atenea for so long so feeling ko na-cover natin lahat about her. She's really one of the strong. I think she's the flag bearer of Europe as of the moment.
Yes.
And Africa. Because Braioni, if not there, is the African queen. But she's in the latter end of my top 10. She's my 10th place Braioni Govinder. Yeah.
She's in my top 5.
Okay, so why is she your 5th place?
She's not in 5th place.
What?
She's not even in 5th place. She's a little bit higher than that.
Oh, so let's get about that later because she's not in my top 5. And in my 5th place sits is Antonia Porfield. Mamamalo talaga ako ng Thai at papaluin ako ng Thai. I'm sorry, Thailand, but you are repeating mistakes of the past again. Ito na naman tayo. You're pressing...
I will back you up on that.
You're pressing the accelerator far too hard, too early,
too fast.
too fast.
Yeah.
You're burning your fuel, honey.
Yes.
You're burning. Tapos pagdating nyo ng top 5, when you reach the top 5, you'll be underperforming, you can answer the questions, and you'll be revolving around all of these things. And because the pressure is high on Antonia's shoulders, she's gonna end up on top 5 and not gonna progress further. And that's the fear. And my fear is engulfing me right now because between Antonia and Michelle, who are the two Asian flag bearers, Antonia used to be miles ahead of Michelle early in the competition, but I think now Michelle is sitting comfortably where she is. And Antonia is running out
Of steam.
steam. She's burning out, and that's more fearful because you have so much high expectation being a former Miss Supranational. You have so much backing, overhyping. I mean, the hype is living to it. Don't get me wrong. The fact she's in my top 5, she will perform well.
Yeah.
She will dress well. She will answer closer interviews well. But when she gets to the top 5, I do not know if she will still be as well as she could be. Baka ubus na. Baka she'll be so tired. She'll be so overrun by all of these things, trying to please organizations, sponsors, and people around her, that she will lose steam and she cannot bring it back up. I remember in 2019, Fasay will now be sitting as a judge for Voice for Change. And I think we're talking about favor here. Let's not sugarcoat anything. Fasay is there to help Antonia na painom ka ng tubig, no? Para pumasok siya sa top 5. Let's not joke about this. This is the reality here. She is there to help, Thailand go further.
And let's not pretend that Miss Universe does not play favorites.
Yes.
They do.
They do.
Nakinabang tayo. Ang kaloob.
Nakinabang tayo doon. And the fact that this is running out, we're not running in circles here. Ang pinaka nakakatakot pa is because El Salvador is mirroring the Florida setting of 2020. Same hostile audience, pro-Latina. Sana nga top 5 si Antonia because may chance pa na baka mag-backslide further into the top 10 at maging Amanda Obdam. We don't want that. But if Antonia though continues to hold on to her fort and she proves to have that energy after the preliminaries and closed doors, she can take over Carla Gulf. Because you know what? I would have to disagree with Jason that there's no two supranational queens sitting at the top. It could be, but for sure there's a lesser chance for a supranational winner over a runner-up to win the crown. And that would be the most heartbreaking upset. Imagine Puerto Rico and Thailand holding hands at the finals with Thailand losing. That would be crashing. But it's not impossible to happen as of this point.
I will explain why Antonia is higher on my list when we get to that number.
Yes.
Okay? But right now, my problem with the Miss Universe Thailand organization is that when they package their girls, it's the same packaging from Amanda Obdam to Angeli to Anna and now to Antonia.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You need to start packaging your girl as individual persons.
Go back to Namtan.
Because Namtan is a different organization.
Yes, you have to go back to the Namtan formula. Namtan is your most successful girl. Pawinsada is also successful, but it's prototypical already when that happened. Because after Namtan, Maria Erin is different from Namtan, and then the Ning Sofida is different from Maria Erin. So you see variations there. That's why the Thai campaign from 2015 to 2018 was pretty much exciting.
Yes.
2019 onwards is prototypical campaign.
Yeah. That's what I've been telling about.
Yes.
About the organization spearheading the campaign of the girl. It needs to be individualistic. It needs to be that the girl
don't repeat the Brazilian
will be the one who's
mistake.
going to be in charge of her campaign.
Yes.
I think that is a dangerous slope that Miss Universe Thailand is placing their winners.
Because in Brazil 2017, in 2007 when Natalia won, all of the Miss Brazil after that looks like Natalia. Diba? And we also did that with Miriam Kiambao from 1999 to 2004. Everything's prototypical. That doesn't work. Stop.
And also, when I saw Antonia's arrival, she looks tired. So, and
Alright.
you need to hit the brakes on overexposing her because it's not serving you well.
I'm not saying that she's not pretty. She's super pretty. We love her.
Yeah.
I think her best look is when the preliminary swimsuit and the nude blush swimsuit that they were wearing. Remember that in the Miss Thailand competition?
Okay.
She looks vibrant. On finals night, that's the Miss Universe Thailand I
Yeah.
wanted to see. Now, upon arriving in Miami, you could tell there's a lot of going on in her plate. You need to stop. She's in El Salvador now. I heard there's some special room provided. You have
it was provided by her national
national organization. Yeah, I understand. And take advantage of that.
Which I think is going to play to her advantage later, and I will explain.
Yeah. So magpaganda, matulog. That's what you
Yes.
need to do. But sorry, as of
Rest,
now, I think
rest.
do not burn all your fuel. You're in my fifth spot. So you have the right to talk about two girls next because nasagad ko na hanggang top 4.
Okay.
Your fifth place.
On fifth place, I have, it's going to be controversial, South Africa. And the reason why, it's because this girl can speak, and I love girls who can speak. She talks passionately about women empowerment, the things that she's going to do if the platform is given her for Miss Universe. And she's already building that when she already placed first runner-up in Miss South Africa.
Miss South Africa.
My worry there is that the Miss Universe organization might not appreciate a
That's my
runner-up
point. No, not just that.
in
I don't think they are going to warm up towards another Miss South Africa too soon.
too soon.
I feel like
Probably a top 5 finish is safe, but more likely a top 10
a
is
top 10 is more fitting.
The realistic.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why I put her in 10 because I don't think they are keen on having a South African queen there again that could spoil the broth.
But honestly, I am in love with Indian queens. I am sorry. That's my bias. Because from the moment I laid eyes on Lara Dutta winning Miss Universe
That's
in
the
2000,
gold standard.
I was like, this is the Miss Universe that has, been the benchmark for so long until Catriona came in. I think kung isuma total natin yung mga winners ng Miss Universe before Catriona, I think nobody can lick the position of Lara.
I think even Catriona would say that Lara is far ahead her.
Yeah.
And
I
we
think-
respect that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to beauty, poise, and bearing, there is something about Indian queens, Indian women that
In the 90s.
I really, really appreciate.
Admire. And so yeah, I understand where the love for
Yeah.
Bryony comes
So I know it's a bias, but then again, last year Amanda was a bias from the very beginning, pero nadala until finals. So who knows, baka lightning
might.
might strike.
in. No, but
strike
I'm
once
just
again.
concerned about the wardrobe, the walk, and the packaging because
At the end of the day, it's still a competition.
yes.
Yeah.
But who knows if Natasha can break the point, somebody who's as prepared as her
Yeah.
in 2020, malaki mo naman Bryony would
Oh yeah.
break the glass ceiling and be out there. Yeah. So fourth place.
Fourth place, I have actually Mariana Downing of Dominican Republic.
Whoa.
Okay, Mariana is a native English speaker. She is New York educated. She's been financially independent since she was a teenager,
She is.
and she advocates for financial education, I believe, or independence.
Independence, which
So-
is not privy. I mean, maybe that's the detachment from where the Dominicanos are right now with her because we're talking about certain causes that's not close to our heart. Maybe there's a different thing about, but I think that the effort to be closer to the culture is big. Her national costume is plátano, cajón de plátano, which is backs of plantains,
Yeah.
which is very important for the Dominican culture because they're
It's one of their main exports.
no, it's also the main ingredient for the national dish, mango, con tres
Oh.
golpes. And they like it. And they really, it's a staple
Yeah.
in Dominican cuisine. So I think,
And physical wise, I mean, the face card is there.
Never declines.
She's 5'9" in height. Plus, the moment that I saw yung training niya with Magali Febles, I have personally had issues with her catwalk skills.
But you know, Magali is Magali. We've seen
And
her do miracle in the past.
And
She can do it again.
She is delivering in terms of presentation. At nag-slim down siya. Ang ganda ng katawan niya ngayon.
Totoo.
So, we have to be aware that
She's
this
very
is going to be a major
exceptional.
contender.
To true. So now we're on the top 3.
Oh my God.
Girl, top
Okay.
3. No, I'll only be talking about 2 because I already touched the first one.
Okay.
So, third spot.
Third spot. Your third spot.
My third spot is there can only be one Venezolana at place, and that's not the Venezuela you're thinking about. So Noella Voigt of the United States will be my second runner-up for this year. Again, the representation of intercultural affairs is very big at Miss Universe. She's the kind of Miss USA that shares similarity with Arbony, but she has a more trailblazing support because of the Latina community rallying behind her. She speaks really, really well.
She speaks
She's
Spanish.
packaged really well. Yes, she speaks Spanish.
Diba?
That could play to her advantage in
Yeah.
El Salvador. And she can touch on varying topics because that's also the privilege she holds for being intercultural when discussing certain affairs with as a queen. So I think she can really be high up there, and she's really good. I think she's gonna be dressed by De Galavis, a Venezuelan designer, also to the queens, and I think it's really exciting year for her.
Noelia is not in my top 5 or top 7 for that matter because we just had our
Yes.
And
She's not gonna win, but she can be.
Kasi controversial.
Oh, ilapag mo yan.
Dapat natin to. Sindihan ang mitsa. Kung may katotohanan na nabigyan ng special advantages si Arbony sa Miss USA last year dahil gusto siyang ipanalo sa Miss Universe, malaki ang chances na hindi nila gagawin yun ngayon para kay Noelia. Tingin ko, I believe that Noelia will sit comfortably at the top 10. Possibly a top 5 finish, but no further than that because Miss Universe does not want another controversy about the favorites, especially with the controversial documentary that came out earlier about how to fix a pageant. And that placed Miss Universe organization in a bad light. And I think that sacrificial lamb nila ngayon si Miss USA. Siya yung magbabayad sa kasalanan na ginawa nila
Pero parang-
kay Arbony last.
Parang hindi. No, because
Arbony last.
But we know naman why Arbony win last year.
Yeah.
Not just because of performance, but because
Because it's optics as well.
and transition year.
Yeah.
The best choice with minimum risk is
Minimum
Arbony.
damage.
Minimum damage is Arbony. They could have gone with Amanda Dudamel. Actually, she is...
In principle, she is.
In principle, the right Miss Universe, but in paper, it's Arbony.
It's Arbony.
Because
Ayan na naman tayo sa in paper.
yan ang ating standard natin in principle and in paper. Because in paper, Arbony is less costly to be a Miss Universe when you're transferring things from Bangkok to New York. She lives in the States. You don't have to house her. You just have to support her there. Whereas if you crown Amanda, relocation alone, the team alone, support system for her would be difficult because she'll be traveling with an entourage for that instance, and that's gonna be costly for an organization who's transitioning and in financial damage. And so yes, but I think Noelia will push the button quite far. But I agree, if I see Antonia slipping far below and ending up really, really high as a possibility, that could also happen to Noelia. She might be high at this point in my list, but she could also mag-backslide.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't feel her this week. Upon arrival, and you don't feel the energy, and it's like,
Yeah.
I think she's already there, but you don't feel her.
Yeah.
That could be a point for reconsideration. But I think for the sake of neutrality and Venezuelan representation, for another reason that we will be discussing later on, Noelia is there for a reason. Again, Michelle is my fourth spot. She could overtake all these girls, baby. So
third spot.
second spot. Third spot for you.
Okay. For me, my third spot is going to be hometown girl. She's the Irina Esser of Dispatch. She's 5'11". She's a surfer girl. She speaks Spanish and speaks English. She's trained by Magali Febles. And of course, she has the backing of El Salvador. Her name is Isabela Garcia Manzo. Representing El Salvador. And I think magpa-play into consideration the fact that the president really pushed for the hosting this year, and I think the Miss Universe organization is going to reward them for that.
No, and if the rumor is true that internally within El Salvador's government, connections are really strong.
Yes.
But I don't think she will be in the top 5. I think she'll be a bit lower. I'm comfortably top 20, not advancing any further. That's how I see.
Me, I'm looking at it from a political perspective. I think she's going to be safe at the top 10. Right now, I think we should start looking at her as a possible contender because
she is
delivering. The moment that she revealed her
Hello Universe?
No, not Hello Universe. Her Fadil headshots. The mere fact that Fadil himself tells in the reels or in the video on Instagram that Isabella actually reminds him of one of the Trinity, Christy Turlington.
That's too high. She's my favorite.
The balance of the face, it tells me that.
Talaga ba? Hindi ko nakikita. Grabe yung Christy Turlington,
It didn't come from me. It came from Fadil.
Oh, come on, Fadil. Well, he's not Steven Meisel. Well, he's not Steven Meisel for him to say because the only you can say that is either you're Peter Lindbergh, De Machelier, or Steven Meisel. If not, okay, it's our opinion.
So,
I'm gonna give it to you.
But for me, if someone who is, seeing the girls before we even saw them,
say that, baka naman.
Say that kaya pa compliment, then we need to start looking at this.
Ako, I think all naman, the runner-up talaga was strong. The first runner-up really felt better representation for El Salvador. Because during that time, I said it in our conversation that this girl could be top 5 at Miss Universe. But it didn't happen. So maybe life has a different plan. Possibly she can crack the top 5, but for me, she sits comfortably at top 20 with another Latin American girl, Miss Mexico, because of the hosting next year and certain business relationship. You're afraid to speak about it, honey, but I'm gonna spill the tea.
Okay.
So, because of that, yeah, kaya makakakuha sila ng pwesto comfortably at the top 20. But that's just as far as it goes because hindi ko pa nakikita that they're exceptional women to be out there. Yeah. So top 2.
Top 2.
I can only speak about my first runner-up because I guess it's Carla for me. So the reason why I don't see El Salvador placing that high is because of this girl, Nicaragua. It can only be one Central American girl. Shanice Palacios is there for excellence. She is the Amada Dudamel of the season for doing things right and right and right and being better and better and better. And if you want a Latin American pleaser without debate, without fights, without conversation that's negatively construed, you have Nicaragua as your girl.
I think Shanice is going for her man. And I am hoping that she makes top 5.
Yes.
However, I don't see it yet happening.
Yes, I don't see her winning yet.
Okay. The highlight for that is the yet na part. Because come prelims, magbabago ito. It will change. And I think that I am just waiting for that extra push on the preliminaries.
Yeah, I want to see. And I want to hear her speak on certain engagement because we don't have visibility on the closed door.
Well.
She does. But I want to see her at the media junket. How the camera likes her. How people, how she interacts with people that throws her questions out of the blue, unprepared, and answer it well. Because there are certain girls as of now na you threw certain questions, you thought they're doing well. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Antonia. It swings differently now than the sit-down interview she had in Bangkok. And that's where the doubts comes from. That's where Michelle shone brighter, because the most recent interview, Boy Abunda, really put her at a certain spotlight. The construction is not coming from a book. It's not a narrative from any written page, but it's a narrative from the moment she thought of the topic, and that's what you need in there. And the answer, because I thought when you answer at Miss Universe in a very calm and collected manner, parang feeling ko it's a weakness eh. Because sanay tayo na confident. But now we see girls like Michelle coming through and other girls like Yannick Maceta in 2020 who, you know, takes time and gives you the energy and lets you understand what they're trying to talk about. And that's power to me. There are girls like Harna Sandu was like ra ra ra, or Zosibini Tunzi na slapping you left and right with words after words of power and, you know, and position, and it gives you the crown. So I don't know about this year. Maybe that could be a formula that works. But basically, so that gives my top 3. You.
So I think
Your runner-up.
Okay, my runner-up is controversial, and people will be like pitchforks all around.
Bakit siya?
Because Thailand is my number 2, and the reason why I am
Not
looking
surprised.
at Thailand as number 2, it's because I am looking at the Miss Universe organization's need to find a marketable, sellable winner.
Nasa kanya
And
kasi yung pera talaga.
Nasa kanya yung pera. Let's face it. In the mid-2010s, nasa atin ang pera. Nasa atin yung makinarya. We were the marketing machinery that the Miss Universe needs. We had brands willing to sponsor.
Let's explain machinery. Baka hindi nila intindihan. Ganito po yan. In the past 5 Miss Universe Philippines, meron ba kayong nakita any of them other than Catriona that became ambassadors for BDO, for Cream Silk, for other what you call this, big FMCG brands that has money? Wala pa. After Catriona with BDO and
all model-less.
Yes, they're all model-less.
Influencers.
They end in digital space.
Yes, but
they don't
not
cover
in
yes.
the big.
You don't see the power like Pia Wurtzbach on billboards, on online, on television concurrently. It's not visible.
And Antonia brings that to the organization.
Antonia now has that. That's where Jason is coming. I get you there.
That's her power.
Yes.
She is marketable. If the Miss Universe organization needs money, crown Antonia because she will bring in you the endorsements.
Imagine TPN is already enjoying the money that Miss Universe is salivating to have.
Yes.
And so why would you miss on that chance?
Yes.
But apparently sometimes even if you have the chance, life can really fuck you up big time. That's why you have to be really careful.
That is why I am putting her at second place, not as my main winner.
So imagine,
because she
diba?
still has to face that hurdle that every Thai queen has been faced with, and that's the dreaded Q&A. Miss Thailand and Miss International this year, gorgeous, perfection.
Example.
Styling, wala kang masabi. But when it came to the Q&A, that is her.
She faltered. And it's not even for not speaking English well. It's for the lack of substance and cohesion.
Cohesion, yes.
For the answer.
So that is why I am putting Antonia at second place. Because I don't know if you will agree with me, the Miss Universe crown is Antonia's to lose.
Yes. I agree naman. I think right now, she's being positioned to be, kinukondisyon na tayong lahat. It's a mind conditioning effort na, hey, she's Miss Universe. Una pa lang, di ba, remember during our Miss Thailand live stream, you can go back on the March live stream we did on the pre-Miss Universe Thailand. Whoever wins, whether it's Jazzy, Vina, or Antonia, would be your presumptive Miss Universe. And now, she's presumptive, but nawawala na yung presumption ngayon.
Oh, yeah.
Nagiging definite.
So she really needs to rally. She needs to put her, ducks in a row because right now the energy is slipping away from her, and I think that is the area that she really needs.
She's getting tired.
Yeah, she needs.
Fan voting is slipping. We're running up against all these powers and you're voting very, very hard. Kaya important that our participation now more than ever, especially sa fans Michelle if you're from the Philippines, or fans Antonio from Thailand, or you're from Latin America, whether whoever that may be that you're supporting, you vote and vote and vote and vote and vote. Because you can never be so sure about the scheme of things. Now, there are certain girls in the previous Miss Universe editions na bakit nandiyan siya? I'm talking about the likes of Lao and Canada last year. Who do you think is that girl gonna be this year?
Oh, Nigeria? No. Jamaica. She's a medical doctor. Jordan Levy is a medical doctor.
I agree.
Let me just go to her
credentials.
Kasi I was okay, guys. Remember, every year I go through all the what do you call this? The profiles of the Miss Universe candidates. That is why when I talk about their credentials, meron akong pinaguhugutan kasi iniisa-isa ko silang lahat. And here's the thing about Jordan. Sabi niya dito, she's a passionate medical doctor from Kingston, Jamaica. She is driven by a strong work ethic instilled by her family. As a dedicated community leader, she embodies the role of a physician who saves lives and strives to make people feel better about themselves.
Impressive.
Commitment she exemplifies through her Be Beautiful campaign, where she advocates for girls' education and personal growth. Jordan eagerly participates, becoming a compelling voice for global change while showcasing her unwavering dedication and resilient Jamaican spirit. So, in terms of background, in terms of credentials, in terms of resume, hindi ka mawawalan ng mahuhugot sa babaeng to. So, I am looking at her as a possible na pwedeng bumasag sa lahat ng mga frontrunners natin.
I kinda agree with you too on Nigeria because it's a possibility too.
Yes, because Nigeria, sorry, let me go back to her
profile.
She's an advocate for women's empowerment and rehabilitation through the Prince CN Ukachukwu Ministry of Nigeria. She has a joint MBA degree from Lagos Business School, Nigeria, and IPSEG School of Management, Paris, France. Double master's degree holder po siya. So we need to be very careful. For women who has the credentials.
Totoo yan. So we have to be mindful of these girls. And then, you know what? 2 weeks into the competition, marami-rami pa tayo maaabangan, makikita. Mga pasabog at paandar. Hanggat di nagkaka-prelims, it's everybody's ball game. Ito lamang ay our opinion, and also kung meron tayong mga winners of the Miss Universe crown, the El Tocuyo title is also on the side.
Yes.
Who do you think is gonna be this year's Miss El Tocuyo?
Me, it's one of those Venezuelan girls. It's either Miss USA or Diana Silva.
I agree. It's gonna be Diana Silva. Oh my God, Diana Silva nga nasa isip ko because she's Venezuelang so hard.
Yes. It's channeling. I am so trying so hard that it becomes inauthentic.
It's too much Venezuela energy that doesn't parang, and they're not establishing why they have to be there. Why are they there? And why do we need you there? You need to justify. I mean, this pageant is a pageant that justifies their existence for the crown. Venezuela is a beauty, tall, good walk. Her send-off party at the Venevision show last weekend is really, really impeccable.
But currently I am not feeling a winner's vibe coming from Diana Silva.
No, there's nothing there. There's just nothing there.
That's why she needs to deliver hard on the preliminary show, preliminary competition, because right now, other Latina women are bringing the excitement.
Yeah. As of now, if you have a lot of choices. I mean, other than Venezuela, you have Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, who's also embodying the very Venezuela energy.
Then there's also El Salvador,
Colombia, but Colombia is the weak.
I
Colombia, you have to strengthen your game. You've been losing
Yeah.
so much lately.
She's losing steam as well.
Losing and too early to lose steam. You don't do that
Yeah.
this early. My God, you just can't. You just can't. You have a lot of things to do right now, and so yeah. So that's our list. Do you agree with us? You can share down below, comment, and follow us. But I think the comment section is popping. We can read some of them.
Wait, let me just go back to
Oo,
YouTube.
parang marami-rami sinasabi.
Oo,
Mga taga ko,
maraming
DM.
maraming opinions.
Sige, magbasa tayo.
Okay. Where are we?
Tingin, saan tayo naputol?
I don't even know kung saan na tayo naputol.
Oh my God.
Ang dami na. Okay,
Scroll and choke.
sabi ni Jefferson Magpanwa, ang top 5 niya is Thailand, Mexico, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines.
More
Possible.
leaning towards my picks.
Lemon35, your thoughts on Miss Latvia, Kate Alexeva is giving
Eva
vibes.
Kukurovice daw ba siya? Parang, well, this is not 2005. I don't think Latvia will play. So that's the energy.
Sabi ni Art Laurent, grabe ka eloquent ni Marc.
Hindi naman. Art Laurent just such.
Saan ba tayo? Sabi ni Ashton, please guys, let's not talk about other pageant issues. Miss Universe lang tayo.
Totoo.
I like this type of conversation, yung mapapaisip ka as opposed to pagmamamagites ka lang. And
Yeah.
this is why I try as much as possible to have conversations that are difficult, that are not
Just-
easy to talk.
Yeah.
Conversations that enriches yung perspective natin, both you and I.
And
Because
I.
these are the
And
things
we
that
open
don't
the
necessarily-
doors for conversation. We listen to you. Because
Yeah.
minsan naman may nire-raise kayo ng point na, oo nga naman, no,
Oo.
baka nga naman di natin titignan to.
Yeah.
At the end of the pageant, which we all learned very hard last January na,
Yeah.
tama nga pala yung opinion nyo.
Yeah. Tapos sabi ni Levi, if GMA takes full management of MEPH organization, will it affect MMB's placement?
No. MMB's game is hers.
Yeah.
So let her be.
Okay. Levi says, in my opinion, Puerto Rico is too perfect for Miss Universe, which is a good and a bad thing. Hopefully, she does not come in this as disingenuous. She could easily snatch that crown. I agree.
Validated ako. Thank you.
Sabi ni Ashdel, ano po ba ang basis ng inyong rankings? Kasama po ba dito ang background and advocacy ng ladies? Or this is based po ba on their national pageant performance? or
Sinabi
based
na
on their
namin,
physical?
okay, ganito nga yun, di ba? Ganito nga. O, ito na nga. Hindi, kasi yung performance nila sa national at yung kanilang performance and rankings the performance will happen after prelims.
Yeah.
Coming live after that. Pero sa mga pre-arrival, hindi lang to nationals because we're looking at nagbago po aming criteria, the environment that we're going at.
Yes.
Anong nangyayari sa mundo at anong ginagawa ng mga babaeng to in participation to address. Second, the business climate.
Yes.
Because Miss Universe organization today is that the organization that we grew up with. Wala silang pera. And they need money, machinery, and marketing to propel their cause further and rescue their relevance and survive in all the pageant system.
They need the money. Let's not disillusion ourselves that the Miss Universe organization is a non-profit business.
Yes.
It is for-profit. na
For
business.
profit.
So we really need to push through yung idea na yung pinaka-deserving ang mananalo. No. We have to put into consideration the marketability of the winner because that is going to be something that they need to play on.
True.
Dahil kung kailangan nila ng pera, pinakailangan nila ng winner na magdadala ng pera sa kanila.
Yes, and for you to bring money, you have to have third, the impact, because that impact comes from so many forms. Whether you do social responsibility or business equity kind of activation for Miss Universe, you have to be that strong woman and the epitome of whoever you are. The representation you bring is the face of the organization that you see. And so, it's crucial to find a girl that can push, not necessarily perfect, but can handle situations really, really well. And so, those are three major points of views na titignan namin. Of course, when we go towards the finals, the performances and the packaging and the social campaign are some of the things that we will take into consideration. So yon po ang aming sukatan for choosing our pre-arrival.
Okay. Sabi ni Carl Vincent Enriquez, I agree with Kuya Mark with the tie rep. Sayang talaga if masyadong pasabog.
Paulit-ulit na tayo doon. Natuto kayo kay Amanda Obda, matuto kayo kay
But the thing is,
Pasay.
if they're not learning, that is a plus point for us. And
Wag naman sobrang complacent like Angeli. And you see what happens, diba? And Thailand is now on a broken record 2 years in a row. So we have to be careful.
okay, saan na ba tayo? Is Nicaragua that good? If I'm not mistaken, nasa Miss World siya dati, pero ang top 40 lang. Am I right?
Kaya nga, di ba, hindi nyo dapat i-base yung previous performances ng girl. Tignan nyo yung taon na ginagugugol nila. Nagbago ba? Nakikita mo ba siya? Kahit ba hindi mo siya pina-follow, nakahagip siya ng socials mo. Natatanong mo siya kahit wala kang interest sa kanya. Because if the answer is yes, then the girl is strong.
Okay, sabi ni John Snow 79, any reactions and news that Mexico will host Miss Universe 2024? Nasabay sa pagpalit ng franchise holder ng MU Mexico.
Kaya siya magiging top 10 o top 20.
Ito yung worry ko because physically, Melissa is perfect. She's 5'11", 6 feet tall. Very interesting yung face. She's a former Miss Fire sa Miss Earth. But when that news came in, dalawa yung naisip ko na either hindi siya ipapasok dahil maglilipat sila ng franchise next year, which could mean that they really want na
A goodbye.
a goodbye. So, in order for that to happen, at hindi sila makatrio na gray na ililipat nila kay Chavez Singson yung rumoredly yung franchise na nala si Catriona. So ngayon manage yung mananalong rep ng 2019. They don't want that to happen. So there is a possibility na ilalaglag nila si Mexico. And I am hoping na hindi ganun ang mangyari. That at
Yes.
least, if she deserves a top 10 placement, give her that placement. I think Miss Universe needs to be fair
This time.
in terms of that space.
Well, that's the reason naman, the good thing, that you have no shortage again of viable Latinas to hold the possession,
fort,
the fort. So, kung talagang hindi siya masyado magaling, hindi talaga dapat magaling. Huwag niyong pilitin.
Yeah.
Pero kung talagang magaling, edi all good.
Hi, Roscoe. Okay, Roscoe is watching us.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Marc's energy and I love the passion. Very good contrast from Sir Jesson's calm and collective thoughts.
Kailangan ng bad cup, good cup. Oo. Mira niyo yung makita dito eh. Di ilaglagan na natin, di ba? Ibabash nyo rin naman ako eventually eh. Di make it worthwhile.
Okay. Remember the define saying Guatemala is gaining more momentum than Colombia actually, and they're both mothers.
Oh, not sure.
Especially kasi I think I still prefer
Hindi lang.
Colombia.
Kasi kung on the basis of being a mother alone, Colombia at least is doing something about
Yes,
it. You know,
that.
she's holding conversation about motherhood, bitbit niya yung anak niya. I mean, hindi lang naman for publicity, but talagang yun ang responsibilidad niya sa mom dahil ganun talaga siya even before winning Miss Colombia title. So, mas Colombia pa rin kung motherhood lang naman ang basis natin over Guatemala. But Guatemala might get a special award for whatever. So, we can see that.
Okay, Jefferson Magpanwa says, in terms of credentials, don't sleep on Jamaica, which we touched on earlier.
We did.
And Australia. Australia reminds me of Jennifer Hawkins.
Sabi nga nila, Australia is also gaining ground. But
Yeah.
we'll see in the following days. Kasi magbabago pa to. Maraming mga nakakagulat na sa listahan. Diba? Na biglang...
I remember Olivia Wells, which is Miss Australia in 2013, na nandun din yung energy behind her, pero hindi
Pero
pumasok
hindi.
sa semis.
It's not giving.
Okay, Levi says, panalunin na si Katon Ying. Maraming mapapabili ng Miss Universe skincare products by Miss O.
Sabi
Actually,
nga. Sinasabi nga. O kaya nga, top 2 niya, top 5 ko eh.
Yeah.
Meaning, nasa winner's reach siya.
Yes.
Within reach ang corona sa kanya.
Oh.
So,
At saka, isipin natin, business pa rin kasi ang Miss Universe eh.
if she wins this, you will not be surprised. If she loses this, malaking sayang.
Oo, malaki.
So yun ang dalawang energy nararamdaman ko sa kanya because you can only be Miss Universe Thailand once.
And there is a rule at Miss Universe that you can only represent, you can only compete at Miss Universe once.
So she cannot be Miss Denmark anymore.
Yes.
Diba?
Okay. Kuya Marc, sabi ni Carl Vincent Enriquez, Kuya Marc raising that Gemini
Sino pa?
flag. Gemini flag.
Yeah.
Okay. Zotico Cagulada says, I feel like Miss Philippines, Michelle, MMD is warming up. She has a very strong campaign, girl boss vibes. The downside with her is her pasarela. She lacks the explosive energy and the wow factor.
I don't think so. Pasarela, she's being trained by Ian Lawrence, a good friend of mine particularly. I don't think her pasarela is weak now. Iba na talaga. Like, you can tell from Miss World. You make, somebody made a reference for Shenice for what she did in Miss World, and now Miss Universe, ganun din si Michelle. 300 times din ang difference si Michelle now than at Miss World. So, diba, let's not sleep on people's transformation.
Sabi ni Roscoe, let's push for a watch party.
Oh! Inisip din namin yun.
I think he might be here this November.
No, we're also planning to do a blow-by-blow. Like, yung pumongkomga, papasok kami, tapos pasok. Kasi naboboring naman kayo sa commercial, di ba? Ayaw nyo yun. Matagal ang commercial ng Miss Universe. So, orasan na lang namin, tapos pasok kami ulit.
Sabi ni Carl Vincent Enriquez, Miss Kuya, Sir Jason, collab na ulit kayo ni Tita L, one of the field.
Yes!
Episodes ko po yung Halloween episodes ninyo.
Si Lilia.
I'm hoping na mag-align yung mga
schedule. Grabe din si Lavinia at sobra din ang mga pasabog ni Mima, di ba? Oo. Mag-live yata siya sa Sunday.
Yes. Sunod-sunod din kasi yung mga live niya, so parang hindi kami
Tugma.
schedule.
At maraming coverage sila eh.
And she's also training girls for the Q&A. So, yun yung mahirap kapag like me, I have like a day job. Meron din siyang mga pinag-aabalahan during
Pero
the day.
malay nyo naman, and I'm also a fan of your tandem. It's
yun na nga eh.
one of the funniest.
Parati kami nagkikita, parati namin sinasabi, let's collab. Oras ang problema.
Totoo.
Yung hindi nag-a-align yung mga oras. It's not that we don't want to, it's just that we are busy people.
So,
and sometimes, our schedules really just don't match.
true. And Belay naman is holding the fort for Miss Earth.
Yes.
So, supportive natin, bigyan natin sa kanya yon yung credit for raising that pageant up.
Ayun.
What's ba?
This is something that is interesting. What do you think Thailand will do if Antonia loses?
Did they lose? They're gonna, I do not know, possibly call some of the girls again, recalibrate, reformulate. Ako feeling ko nauubusan na rin ako ng Thai girl na pwedeng isipin. Sa totoo lang, kasi nagiging, kung meron tayong tinatawag na Lianera de España sa Latin America, which is one form of Latin girls, in Thailand, they have one form also. Kahit si Jassy, isipin ko, parang hindi rin ganito din ang magiging placement niya eh. Kung Vina Pravinar,
I think
may roller coaster energy ako mararamdaman. But at least it excites you.
I think MUV needs to let go. I mean, not let go, but
Let
go
loose.
meaning let go of some controls.
And anything that they think they learned should be unlearned. Yeah. So, OMG, naungusan pala tayo ng natin. Kanina pa, at 2:05 pa lang po, number 1 na tayo sa Voice of Change. Kaya kanalo nyo naman siya dapat ipasok sa fan vote, which is the most important need for us to secure a place, the 11th spot at the top 10, and allow Michelle D to do her slayage onto the top 5.
Sabi ni Ash that sa fan votes ng MU habol ulit. Sir Jason at Marc, if MMD wins, will she be good business-wise?
I think she will make everything in her power to make herself that bankable girl. Hindi kasi puppet si Michelle. I said what I said. Hindi siya puppet eh. She has a vision of her own. She was raised by women who are visionaries of their own. power women ang mga titas niya na former binibinis. Her mom is also a power woman of her own. I think she will bring that energy into the flow. And if Miss Universe Philippines will be fully owned by GMA next year under Mr. Joey Abacan as rumored, it's a good business for mas magandang advertising spend because you now have a media machinery. Yung nga lang, she has to prove that. Pero I don't think it's going to be lesser than what Thailand can offer. It may be a different channel, pero kaya naman. Kaya niya, pareho sila ni Carla ng kakayanan actually.
Here's the thing about franchises being owned by media conglomerates. May machinery.
Look at Cisneros, Venezuela. Strong as ever.
Venezuela, Puerto Rico, because it's TV network.
Yeah.
It's the franchise. You have Thailand.
TPN.
You have, I forgot the other one. So at least, dun muna tayo dun sa tatlo. Ang lakas ng ng kapit.
Pagka may ganun ka,
Imagine mo, noong nasa Binibini in partner with ABS-CBN ang Miss Universe Philippines. Ang lakas natin noon.
pakalat-kalat talaga ang
Yes.
girls sila. Pero in a good way because shows and programs of gravitas. Yun ang kailangan natin. And right now, those three girls that just mentioned has that.
Okay, sabi ni Roscoe, besides the girls, what do you think Miss Universe will serve this year? Sana hindi boring and subpar. Sayang ang $20 to watch all the shows.
Pupusas, charet. Baka mag-serve ng pupusas o baka mag-serve ng
We're
arepa. Wag naman. No.
We're hoping because this is the make or break ni Kunan. She mentioned that this is the first
she will not take
edition na on her leadership.
She will not take any joke time risks for her organization. I think she's serious about turning things around. So,
Okay.
excited ako doon.
Let's dwindle down the comments and final thoughts na.
Yeah.
But before we do that, basahin natin itong comment dito ni Ken Mangopa. Sabi niya, grabe these insights. So unbiased and brutally honest. Convinced ako, malala na it's Thailand's crown to lose.
Sinasabi nyo kasi sa amin yun eh. Ayaw nyo kayo mag-sugarcoat, ayaw nyo kayo magbait-baitan, dinidm nyo pa kami na kahit masakit, sabihin. Ay, di, sabihin. Ilapag.
And this is the reason why we get so much flack, Mark. No?
Yeah.
Especially earlier this year, January, when we talked about Celeste not
Pero
being
I
our-
didn't care kasi we were vindicated. Because kasi nga, tinitignan namin siya. Sagot. Hindi naman namin sinasabing eksperto kami dahil hindi kami nagtatrabaho sa MUO. Hindi rin naman kami close sa mga leaders ng organization. Hindi rin naman kami hater ng national org. We just call them out if they're doing wrong and thank them when they're doing right. But it's just a matter of looking at the bigger picture because the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
And pageantry today is not the pageantry of when we were growing old.
This is not your ITT or your Pacific Mills Miss Universe.
This is not your
This
Trump
is not
era
your
Miss
Trump era
Universe
as well.
na PR machinery siya, so you need a perfect girl to represent the org. Walang pakialam kung may pera o wala because hindi talaga na-run out ng pera. This one's different. This is, the woman is a brand in herself. The woman is the business herself. The woman is the representation herself. Imagine how difficult to become Miss Universe in today's era.
So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think we're leading towards exciting times. This is the biggest, grandest, and the most beautiful day in the universe. Hello Universe is coming to you live from El Salvador from 1975 to 2023. Here we are, here we roll, and there are more exciting events and opportunities, not only for the vloggers like Jason, but also for the girls competing at Miss Universe. Let's show our support. Let's show our love, lessen the negativity, be real, be realistic, but to try to be constructive because inaani natin ngayon yung favor, we're being loved, we're being looked at as a support system rather than a bulldozer of someone's character and campaign. And I think this is very exciting times to be united or to be more, inspired of all the things that's been going in and around the title. The most viable crown of them all?
On my end, I think this year is going to be a turnabout year for the Miss Universe organization. I think we should be happy that it's Kunan's Miss Universe na mangyayari on November 19 dito sa Pilipinas. But also let us be prepared that heartbreaks is going to happen. I think that on any pivotal year of any new ownership of the organization, especially a full ownership at this point, we really need to expect less. Because if we expect less, hindi magiging masakit yung outcome.
We can check on the pivotal eras
Like yung pagkapanalo ni
Catalina
Machado.
Catalina to Pacific Meals era is wala masyadong change. Kasi medyo same brand yon, same mold. Pero pagdating ng Alicia Machado era, kita mo yung disparity ng talagang, di ba? As in, biglang vivacious women, feisty, fierce, and beautiful.
Change doon sa panahon ni Pia with IMG.
With IMG.
See yung
ang laki ng diferensya. Diba, Paulina Vega, to IMG to the current ownership, medyo ibang-iba din yung...
So we really need to, to manage our expectations well, because this might not be the Miss Universe that we all grew up with.
So, wag kayo magpaka-Arbony. Sure na kami doon na hindi kayo mananalo if you try to be the formula of Arbony. Do you have to be a Catriona? You can try to be Catriona, but you will never be Catriona. So, I suggest be your own person. And that's the winning formula. I think authenticity is the name of the game. Sincerity is the name of the game. And
ability to sell.
Marketability is the pocket of the game.
Yes.
So, let's play this game, baby.
Yeah.
This is Miss Universe, live from El Salvador.
So we really need to, look up this with a refresh.
State
with a
of mind.
A different mindset and different pair of eyes, because hindi natin alam yung pagbabago na mangyayari.
Unexpected. Yeah. So, to the front runners, continue doing your best. Be at the front. To those girls na hindi pa, this is your time to recalibrate, revisit, reassess where you are, and then push forward on a better game changing or game plan for you to win the title. Baka hindi natin alam, this might be the crown for you.
Okay?
Yes.
That's it for
Thank you
our
so much sa lahat po na sumama. Thank you. 2 hours. We promised 1.5. You give us 2 hours. Sa mga gusto pong sumuporta sa Sashes&Scripts, you know where to find them on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yun. Again, thank you, Jessa, for having me. I love it here every once in a while, 3 times a year. Kind of situation because of our busy ganap. But, we're very, very thankful about it. So,
thank
yes.
you, Marc, for, giving us the time.
Oo naman.
Marc's a very busy person. Marami siyang ganaps. And I do hope that the next time na magla-livestream tayo after the preliminaries, mas solidified na yung...
Magwawala tayo.
Ano natin,
You can
yung
expect us
listahan
to
natin.
go ballistic towards the choices that we have. We're gonna, so wag gun, kasi pangit pala ang gun. We're gonna shoot to the matter of concern of winning the crown. And I think we will have a very worthy Miss Universe this year. Talagang I think I can expect a queen that we will not only give the money, but I hope the message of what a modern woman is all about. And echo the concerns that is necessary to evolve for better society.
That's it, guys.
Thank you so
Before we
much.
end, please leave a like. Follow us on our social media channels, especially or here on YouTube. Nasa 5,600 plus na yata tayo na followers. So thank you very much for that. I know na marami pa tayong pag-uusapan in the coming days to come. So abangan nyo yung live stream ng mga updates natin later on.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
That's
Bye,
it.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Let's
Yon.